Shalom, shalom. First and foremost, I give all praise and infinite glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem HaKadosh, Yahweh, B'Shem Shalom, God, Ba'ashem Nemu, and Yahushai, B'Shem Lord Savior, Lord because Jesus, Lord HaKadosh, Holy Spirit. Number one is the apostle knows the greatness that rule well, not worthy of the honor. Peace and blessings to your host Blake out there, pushing the word of the Lord in truth, faith, sincerity, if your body is a sacrifice. And continue to bind faith in these gruesome perilous times, man. Shalom, hope all is well. So today is edification, exhortation, this lesson, in this walk and talk, what I'm saying. I'm basically discussing, basic topics gonna be on basically just like completely, trying our best to completely, give ourselves to the Lord, man. You know what I'm saying? Like basically, man, we gotta be all in this thing, with this truth. And as a young brother, I'm saying, maturing in this truth. You know what I'm saying? The more you're in this truth, you know what I'm saying, as time goes on, you start to realize you really have to give everything away. You know what I'm saying? In order to really serve the Lord, Hold up, give me a second. But I'm back now. So basically, what I was saying is that basically, in order to serve the Lord, you got to be all in, man. You got to literally give up everything, for the Lord. You may have to cut people off in your life, or even a certain career that you want, or a certain woman that you want, It may be pleasing to you, but it may be not pleasing to the Lord. And at the end of the day, we're doing this thing. We're just living our life in general for the Lord, man. So we have to do things, that the Lord likes, man, because the Lord is a jealous power, man, as the scriptures say. So we have to give all our time, really to the Lord. You know what I'm saying? We got to really be all in this thing, man. You know what I'm saying? We got to make sure we out here having our, the apple of thine eye, having the apple of our eye, on the work, man, on the work of the Lord, because this was gonna deliver us, man. Not all the pleasures that we have in this world, man. You know what I'm saying? If you're familiar with Spider-Man, the movies, you watch the second movie. Spider-Man went through a phase where he was ultimately, feeling like he lost himself. He was gonna give up, on being Spider-Man. He was losing his powers, and he was losing all that. But the whole time he thought he had something. He was going to the hospital and all that. I was Peter Parker, obviously. But basically it was a mental thing, man. He stopped believing in himself, But the way he was able to get himself back, and be Spider-Man, who he's supposed to be, that's his responsibility. That's what he was predestinated to be, which is Spider-Man, being a hero. You notice he had to give things up. If his girlfriend, Mary Jane, the girl of his dreams, the girl that he loved basically his whole life, you notice he had to basically give her up, man. In order to be Spider-Man, you can't have, the things that you want. You got to do things that the Lord wants. You may want this girl, you may want this particular career. It may not be a sin, to ultimately have these certain things, but will it interrupt your faith? Because it's all about going all in. It's all about going big or go home. And Spider-Man, he got his powers back, like I said, after he basically left Mary Jane alone. You know what I'm saying? You notice that he can't have Mary Jane. He can't have the things that he wants. You know what I'm saying? You can't have the things that you want, man. And that's a hard pill to swallow. But if you're gonna be a man of the Lord, man, you gotta leave everything behind. And Spider-Man, he left everything behind, man. You know what I'm saying? Whether it be his family, he lost certain relationships, you know, and ultimately the girl of his dreams, man. And we all have a passion that we would want to do in this world, you know, and that symbolizes Mary Jane. You know what I'm saying? But we have to remember our first love is the truth. You know what I'm saying? We can't have Mary Jane, you know, the worldly pleasures or that worldly passion, you know, the flesh deeply wants. You have to do what the spirit, you know, needs, man. You know what I'm saying? So we can't have the things of this world. We have to literally leave everything behind. You know what I'm saying? To the T. You know what I'm saying? You gotta leave everything behind and really be locked into this truth. Because we're almost out of here, man. You notice lately, the Lord may lately have been, you know, trimming the fat from your life. You noticing you're experiencing a lot of loss. You know what I'm saying? Things were going all good, and then now you're losing a bunch of things. You know, that this is actually a defense mechanism, what the Lord's doing by causing us, you know, to lose certain these things, man. Because it's gonna make us numb to the pain and suffering that's gonna come during the time of Jacob's trouble. You know what I'm saying? So when everybody's losing everything in Jacob's trouble, we are gonna be fine because you've already been conditioned, you know, to accept, you know, losing things. You know what I'm saying? So don't look at it as a bad thing that the Lord is ultimately, you know, trimming the fat from your life, man. You know what I'm saying? And taking away certain things from you. You know, it's all ultimately a way to boost your faith. You know, if you're really one of the chosen ones, the Lord's gonna put you down. You know what I'm saying? In a low state. You know what I'm saying? That's how the scripture says. Be cheerful when they are brought to a low state, man. You know what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, you being brought to a low state, that's all to, you know, purify you, man. You know, the scripture says, man, if you come to serve the Lord, prepare thy soul for temptation. As gold is tried in the fire and acceptable man unto the furnace of adversity. In order for gold to become that precious, you know, thing it is, man. You know what I'm saying? It has to go through a barbaric state of chastisement, man, in order for it to be purified. You know what I'm saying? In order for, like, for example, you're purifying water, you know what I'm saying? You're gonna have to use that heat, you know? And the heat represents the affliction, man. If you look at it from a metaphorical standpoint, man, you know, that fire is the affliction that the Lord is putting on us, man. But it's meant to ultimately, you know, better us, man, strengthen us, man. You know, these are battle scars, so we can be strong. You know what I'm saying? So don't look at you losing certain things in your life, man. You know, I'm a young brother, you know what I'm saying? My testimony, lately, man, I've been losing a lot of things, man. I'm really, you know, maturing and realizing, man, like certain things I want, you know, may not be, you know, beneficial for my growth, you know, as a man of the Lord. You know what I'm saying? It may be good in the world, but at the end of the day, we're not supposed to love the world, man, nor the things in this world, as the scriptures have said. So we have to be completely locked into this truth. You know what I'm saying? You have to be completely locked into this truth. You know what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, we almost out of here, man. You know what I'm saying? We almost out of here. So leave all these things behind. Like, literally, man, it's easier said than done. You know what I'm saying? You know, it's easier said than done, but literally, you have to literally train yourself to leave things behind, man. You know, I'm telling you, it's hard, but you have to do the things that's necessary for your growth, you know, in this truth, man, and in the faith of Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. You know what I'm saying? So really, man, you know, remember, with great power comes great responsibility. You know, we can't have the things that we want, you know what I'm saying, that the flesh wants. The flesh wants a bunch of things. But would you rather suffer the pain of regret or to suffer the pain of discipline? Because I'd rather suffer the pain of discipline than to regret, you know, in the end, man. You know what I'm saying? You see all these brothers, you know what I'm saying, getting beaten on the chariots. You know, you see these brothers of spiritual power, and your ass is regretful because you chose to stay in the world, you know, and stay in a state of mirth rather than suffering the pain and discipline of Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, you know? Because at the end of the day, this pain and suffering, you know, it's going to help us in the end. It's going to help us endure. Why do you think athletes, you know, do an off season, man? The off season, they're training themselves, they're pushing themselves to the limit. So now they're able to endure through the season and endure through anything, man, because they've already conditioned themselves in the summer. And right now, spiritually, we're in the off season now, man, because we're not in our temptation yet. We're still being tried every day, but this is only the preseason. This is only the off season. We're just getting ready for what's to come, man. So really, man, you know, you got to really remember that this chastisement's for a good thing, man. We're not suffering all this for no reason. You know, this chastisement is going to bring us salvation. And I know we all want to be saved, you know. Brothers may be going through things with infirmities, you know, and all that, you know what I'm saying? But we have to remember that this is eventually, all this chastisement that we're going through, this affliction, it's eventually going to end. And we're going to be in prosperity, man. When the kingdom comes, we're going to have all the women we want, you know what I'm saying? We're going to have, you know, new bodies, extraterrestrial bodies. We're never going to be sick. We're never going to be tired. You know, you're never going to be having back pain, hip pain, spinal pain, any type of pain, you know, any you brothers is going through. You know, I myself, man, like adjusting, you know, to having these infirmities as a kid, you know, at a young age. Because in this world, I'll be a so-called kid, but in this truth, I'm a man. You know what I'm saying? And this truth has caused me to become a man, you know, and from a spiritual sense, you know. And just having all these infirmities, it's like, damn. Like sometimes, man, I have to catch myself from envying the, you know, the sinner, man. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm like, damn, like how come I'm going through all this and they're not? You want to know why? Because we're chosen. The chosen ones are always going to be afflicted more because we're being strengthened day by day. These people are not being strengthened, you know, while we are. You know what I'm saying? So envy not the sinner, man. You know, don't compare yourself, you know, to these people. You know, they look like they live in the time of their life, you know, and all that. First of all, they're not living shit, you know. They're not living shit. It's all artificial happiness, you know. And also, the scripture says they're going to be gnashing of teeth when that time comes, when Yahushua comes, you know, and destroys this place and saves his elect. These people are going to be regretful, man. These people are going to regret not turning on to the Lord. But us, we going to be fine, you know what I'm saying? Because we chose to suffer the discipline, you know what I'm saying? Rather than the mirth of this place, man. You know, so don't envy these people, man. We have to remember, we're going through all these things for a reason, man. You know what I'm saying? And remember, we can't have certain things. You know what I'm saying? You can't have Mary Jane. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is why you gotta continue to watch these superhero movies, because they're very spiritual. And they symbolize us because we're the superheroes, man. You know what I'm saying? We're the superheroes. You know what I'm saying? You know? So, man, like, really continue to you know, be all in this truth. You know what I'm saying? You may have to change your career, you know, in order to, you know, serve the Lord full time. You know what I'm saying? You notice, Peter Parker, for example, you know, he's a photographer, man. He's not doesn't have no big, crazy job. You know what I'm saying? He's a photographer, you know, and being a photographer allows him to fully be Spider-Man. You know what I'm saying? So you might have to change your career in order to serve the Lord, you know, at a higher rate, man. You know what I'm saying? And that shit, stuff like that, man. You know, that's how you really got to sacrifice things for the Lord. And remember, that's all going to pay off in the end. You know what I'm saying? If you really want something that bad, you will be willing to sacrifice, you know, certain pleasures, certain passions you have, you know what I'm saying, in order to really achieve that goal, you know what I'm saying? Or really, you know, polish, you know, your craft, man, you know? So really, brothers, man, you know, just remember, we almost out of here, man. Just leave everything behind. Remember, we have a responsibility, man. The Lord didn't just call us for no reason. We didn't just wake up one day and be like, well, I want to be a prophet. You know, I want to be this, I want to be that, I want to be a man of the Lord. No. You know, the Lord literally predestined us to be, you know, prophets, man. You know, we can't run away from being, you know, the chosen ones, man. Literally, niggas in the world be saying they're the chosen ones. Man, we the chosen ones, man, for real. You know, of Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua. You know what I'm saying? So we didn't get you know, picked for no reason, man. The Lord picked us, you know, for a reason, because we're the chosen ones, man. Lord willing, we be of those men. You know, we're the first fruits of the Lord, you know, the first spirits. You know what I'm saying? We got to remember that, man. You know, with great power comes great responsibility. You know, this is what we was brought on earth to do, to serve the Lord. You know what I'm saying? You know, this is our calling, man. And we have to really, you know, be a walking testament, you know, of our calling, man. You know? You have to be chosen, personified. Like, if you're really chosen, you got to act like you're chosen. You got to go through things like a chosen person would, bro. You know what I'm saying? Remember, with great power comes great responsibility. You know what I'm saying? We have this great power, man. You know what I'm saying? The knowledge of Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua. We literally have spiritual power, man. And we don't even know that. I mean, real brothers would know, but we haven't even unlocked our ultimate power yet. But this wisdom is, you know, spiritual power, man. And we have these powers, man. So that means with the great power comes great responsibility. So we have a huge responsibility, man. You know what I'm saying? So we have to, you know, really lock in, man. You know, really, really lock in, you know? You know, man, in order to really be chosen, you notice all these superheroes, man. You see Batman, Superman, they all lost something in their life, you know? You know, lost, you know, you always notice lost is like a exigence. There's always an exigence in a story. Exigence basically being, you know, a catalyst, man. And you notice, before every superhero becomes a superhero, there's always some form of loss that they experience. You know, that's basically the catalyst of them being a superhero, man. You see Batman, he lost his parents. You see Spider-Man, he lost his Uncle Ben. You know? And you know, man? So that's, you know, I'm just saying, you know, I'm making examples of basically showing, man, in order to be great, there has to be a form of loss, you know, or trauma that causes one to exemplify greatness, man, you know? So, you know, the loss, you know, is a good thing, man. You know, people look at loss as a bad thing, you know what I'm saying? As a con most of the time, but really, if you look at it, man, you know, lost is a good thing. There's a saying that in order for a tree to grow, you have to cut off old branches. You know what I'm saying? A tree can't just grow if you don't cut off, or it doesn't release the old branches. You know what I'm saying? Even with your hair. If you don't trim your hair, you know, so you develop split ends, you know, which causes your hair to be tangled, which causes less growth, you know? So notice everything has to, you know, and everything that grows at a rapid rate, there's a form of, how would I say it? There's always something being eliminated, you know what I'm saying, as I would say. There's always something being eliminated for something to grow, you know what I'm saying? So just remember, you know, we're going through all these things for a reason, man. You know? So with that, The one year I to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bashim Shai, you know, Bashim Kakwadash, you know, and I got to say this, man. If you have any habits, you know, that causes you, you know, to stumble or causes you to less frequently do the work of the Lord, you have to cut those habits off. The scripture says, man, you know, cut off, you know, that left hand if thou offend thee. You know what I'm saying? So if you have any habits, you know what I'm saying, that causes you to err, you know, it causes you to serve the Lord, you know, at a low rate, you know what I'm saying? I cut that habit off. You know what I'm saying? Because we have to remember, man, you know, we have to give diligence to make our calling and election sure. You know what I'm saying? To make the spiritual journey team with the Lord, man. You know? So just remember, man, we have to cut certain things off. We can't have certain things. Most of the time we're going to be alone because we're soldiers. And when you go into the word soldier, you know, it comes to the word, you see in the beginning, it's solid, which means solitary, which means alone. So we're going to be alone. We're going to have to lose a lot of things in order to really really show that we're chosen, man. You know? So with that, Lord, Father, give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bashim Shai, Bashim Shalom, keep the faith, Aki, and we almost out of here.